How about some little fuzzy dots? Hey, it's Denise from LoomaHat.com. Let's begin with the cast on. You're going to be knitting with one strand of yarn, secure it to the anchor peg. I'm doing a simple knot. Then take it between the first and last peg, bring it forward, back again, and now you're going to zigzag that working yarn between every other peg till you're back at the front. Bring it behind peg 1 and then lay it loosely over the next few pegs. That's peg 1 right there with the marker. Then with your hook, knit off every peg that has 2 loops. And if you notice, it's going to be every other peg. And you're going to keep going all the way until you knit off peg 24, and then you're done with your cast on and you're ready for row 1. Now peg 1 on row 1 has a little issue. It doesn't have 2 loops like peg 2 right here. On this row, peg 1 only has 1 loop, so you're going to skip it, go to peg 2 and do a U-wrap knit stitch. That means you half wrap your peg and then knit off. And it's called a U because the shape that the yarn does when you half wrap. And keep going until you finish that row. You'll see that for row 2 you no longer have that issue. Take the knot off the anchor peg and start your new row, which is row 2. For this project, you're going to need a total of 13 rows, and you're not going to count the cast on as a row. If you want to check that your count is correct, this is one way of doing it. That'll tell you that you have the right amount of rows, minus the cast on, of course. Once you've done your 13 rows, you're ready for your cast off. This technique can be a little tricky, so I want you to watch it completely before you attempt to do it yourself if this is your first time. Just get your yarn and you're going to wrap it around your loom at least 1.5 times. 2 is better. I like to conserve yarn, so I only go 1.5, and then we're going to go to every other peg. I'm going to use my needle that I thread with the working yarn. You can use your hook. So come from the bottom up, and you're going to feed that working yarn through that loop. The next peg you're going to skip. So take the yarn behind it and go to the next one. And from the bottom you're going to feed the working yarn through that loop. Skip the next peg, come to the next one with your needle, take your working yarn up and through. And keep doing that, and like I said, you can use your hook if you want. With the hook you're going to come from the top down and scoop up the yarn. I don't like to do it with that hook. I find this to be a lot easier. Alright, once you get to the last one, then you can remove those loops from the loom. Only the ones that you put the yarn through. Pull it, and that's going to give you some extra yarn to work with, and it lets you see things a lot more clear. And take your needle and you're going to go through the loops that are still left on the pegs, and you're going to feed the working yarn through it. When you're done, you can remove those loops as well. And once you've done that, your yarn fabric is free, and now you're going to pull on those loops, and that just means to take the top and the bottom and pull on them. And you see that there's 2 layers of loops here. You're going to take the most inner layer of loops and you're going to pull on them and tighten and try to close that inside first. You see how I'm doing? Do this slowly so you don't get messed up. And again, you can clearly see there's 2 layers, and you're going to go in the direction that you were knitting. Once you close the inside, now you can work on the outer one. And it looks a lot simpler here. Test it a few times. Don't get angry if it's a little frustrating. The first few times you try this technique, it is a little odd. Alright, then just with the needle, you saw I'm going to go through those loops at least 2 to 3 times. I like to do this 3 times. And then I just feed the needle through to the other side. And you don't have to. You can make a knot with that yarn if you want. And then just get your scissors and cut the excess yarn. Next, pull on the cast on stitches, and you're going to pull on a few of them just to get everything started. Then find the drawstring and pull on it until the fabric shapes almost like a little hat, but don't completely close. Here's your chance to stretch on the stitches for the last time. Then get a brush, a pet brush like this one. It's a dog brush with some wire, soft wire bristles, and start brushing the fabric. And the more you brush, the furrier you'll see that it starts to get. And once you feel that you've done enough, then with your hands, go ahead and just lay the fur flat. And we're going to get some safety eyes like this and put them in place. I believe these are 6 millimeter. They are the smallest I could find because this little guy is small, but you could get whatever size you feel good with. And then just snap the back on them. Now make sure that you get them placed exactly where you want them, because once you put that little back piece and you snap it on, I don't think you can move them ever. You can cut them out, but you can't move them out. So make sure you have it in place. I'm also using a small nose. I'm not sure the size. I'll put it in the description for you. And snap that in place. And now is the time where if you want to give it a face, you can do that. Once you put your polyfill, you can go ahead and get some embroidery floss or whatever you want to do to accent the face. So in this one I put eyelashes and blush, and if you want a little mouth. Now it's time to close it, and I'm using my metal needle. I'm going to go ahead and just like I did on the top, I'm going to do on the bottom. I'm going to sew those loops or in a circular manner, and I'm going to do that several times, usually about 3, and keep tightening. I sew a few of them and I tighten until I feel that I've closed this enough. I'm not going to have a problem with any of the polyfill coming out, and I make a knot and cut the excess yarn, and there you have it. You put a little mouth if you want. I'll show you what it looks like here. I don't like them like that, so I'm not going to put one on, but I wanted to show you how it would look if it had one. And you can use a basic comb to kind of calm the little fur down, and your little fuzzy dot is done. Hey, thanks so much for watching the video. Please share it. It helps me a lot. Like, comment, and if you haven't already done so, subscribe.